Welcome, everyone. Gosh, we're just so excited you're with us. We are on our week one of our 8 weeks to Director Shackley Business Training in 2016. And wow, is this going to be a great session? This is our training team. So these are the leaders that are coming to you to bring this amazing information. And boy, do we have a good session today. And we know this is going to be just a wonderful launch for brand spanking new businesses or businesses where we're just going to rev it up and get you to Director. So our objectives are to help everyone attending reach the rank of director over the next 8 weeks. We want you to launch your business strong with strong concepts and fundamentals and really build this thing well, right? We're going to review the benefits of home-based business real quick. We're going to create a clear picture of what we want our businesses to provide for us and for others. We'll talk a little mechanics, right? A little logistics, how to use your resources and get yourself set up so you can be ultimately a fine-tuned machine. And then we're going to get into action and start the process of doing this thing. So I'm just happy that everyone's here, and I know you're going to love everything that we have. So, Becky.
You bet. And I'm so thrilled to have this training to be able to be archived, that we can access this at any point. And this, what we wanted to start off with was just the home business benefits, the tangible, and we're going to talk about intangible benefits as well. But one quote from my business partner, Francine, she just did a Power of the Profession call this week, and she had a quote that was so profound. I thought I'm going to actually start with this before I start clicking through the points. She said, and she used to be in the social services, and she said, I looked and saw that all the things that I liked about my job were in Shackley, and everything that I didn't like isn't a part of Shackley. And so I just want to frame that when we talk about some of these benefits that are in our home business. So we have lots of tangible benefits. We have opportunities to be able to earn trips. You have the opportunity to be able to earn monthly car payments. You can choose what your income is. And isn't that great that we can pick what we want and what we feel like is appropriate for our income? We can give ourselves a raise. We can decide to do that. The flexibility of time, so many people are intrigued by our business because they can do this in their own way. Some people do their business really early in the morning and really late at night. Other people do it right in the middle of the day. Whatever time, it's one of the best benefits we have with our businesses, this flexibility piece. We also have the financial security of knowing that our business can continue to grow if we are continuing to be involved in it. There's also tax advantages. Lots of people are interested in what we have to be able to take advantage of tax write-offs. And oh my goodness, one of the biggest things we have is our health, because these products are so incredible. We really can have not only good health, but we can have optimal health. And that was one of the things that was the most intriguing to me when I started Shackley, because I have so many things in my family tree that I want to prevent. I have very few things that have actually come to fruition as a symptom for me, but I want to prevent, cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes. We have a bunch of stuff, and I want to be able to prevent that and be able to just live a longer, healthier life and enjoy my children and eventually their children. Plus, this can provide an extra income for us to eliminate debt. Whether you want to pay off a credit card, pay off a home, maybe you're saving for college, maybe you want to have a nest egg for retirement, we have all those things available to us. And then for the intangibles, these are so important, and it's amazing what we have at our own fingertips with our Shackley business. So the very first one, being your own boss. I actually really enjoy this one, and I don't know if I've ever shared this with you all on the call before, but it's so funny that I'm an entrepreneur now, because my sisters and I had a lawn mowing business when we were younger.
Aww.
And we would
clearly that started you.
I know. And but it was so funny because my mom always said, I think you're going to be an entrepreneur, and I didn't think anything about it at the time, but I did get really good at making phone calls, so that was good. But
so
anyway.
I just want to underline that, everybody, when you're looking for your business partners, look for people who had a lawn mowing business, and they were 12 years old.
They are good people. So one of the other benefits is, of course, working from home, and this is one of the parts that I have so enjoyed all these years. My kids are now out of the home. We're an empty nester. We have all kids in college, but I was able to be home all those years with them because of my business. It was only because of that I could be home, because we did need an additional stream of income. The personal development that you have and learn in this business is invaluable, and that will spill over into your personal life. I'm a better mom. I'm a better wife. I am a better daughter because of what I've learned in Shaklee. The satisfaction of knowing we have definitely positively impacted other people's lives. And if you're just starting, you're going to see this ripple effect of people thanking you for introducing you to the Shaklee philosophy, the Shaklee science, the products, the business. I just did a Facebook post recently where I had a picture of Tammy, who is my upline in Shaklee, a picture of she and I thanked her for introducing me to the products, but also the business. And I said on the Facebook post, you have given me 17 years of time with my children and to be home. And I mean, what a gift that we have.
I love that. Mm-hmm.
So being part of this Shaklee family, the Shaklee culture of really helping one another, and it really is unique. And any of you that are coming from more of a corporate environment are going to tell right away that it is unique. But sometimes, actually, because I've been in it so long, I forget that it is so unique compared to other places that people work in the world. And so we are thankful for the positive, supportive, nurturing family that we really have. Of course, the friendships are invaluable, and we get to travel together, and that's awesome. I love that. Recognition is a really big piece, because there's so many times we don't get recognized for what we're doing, and so it is wonderful for us to be able to work with our team and for our teammates to be able to be recognized as well. And then, by golly, it is just plain fun. So it is it's a wonderful, wonderful business. We are thrilled that you are joining us on this journey.
Very good. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Becky. I mean, you make me want to start all over again. So getting started is a really important piece of this. I know a lot of people get started and they're a little overwhelmed of what to do. And I like to always say that in this business, it can be hard, but it's very simple. And if you follow some of these simple steps at the beginning, you can really set yourself up for success. And that starts with setting up your website, exploring the website. Just spend some time really looking at sort of the back office of Shaklee and setting up your website. Setting up a checking account. So we have an electronic funds transfer sheet that you can fill out and send into Shaklee to get all your paychecks automatically deposited. And personally, I keep a separate Shaklee checking account just to keep things simple. Everything Shaklee comes in and out of one particular area, and that was something free for my bank. Then we have your office, so your computer and your phone. Personally, I love having a few different files on my computer that I keep pictures, and a few files that I keep articles and stuff that I think is really valuable to share with people, but it's very simple and easy to get to. And then, of course, the Shaklee Connect app. This has been truly extraordinary thing that they launched last August. It has really helped me personally in my business, being able to sign someone up from anywhere and not have to worry about a thing. We just had a huge event and there was not Wi-Fi, so it was nice being able to have my phone. So set that up. You can get that at the App Store. No matter what phone you have, you can get that at the App Store. And then your working binder or notebook. So really, this can look however you want it to. The bottom line is this is your business. So you get to decide what it is that you want to do. I have a good old-fashioned 3-ring notebook. I have someone on my team who she bought an iPad only for Shaklee, and so she just has her working folder digitally because that worked better for her. So you figure out what works for you, but having a binder or a folder or even an iPad that has all of your stuff for your business is going to be really valuable. Understand how to operate through it, calling on your telephone. So whoever may not know about this, when you make a call and you're on the phone, there's an option to add a call. So just have some practice with that. Practice that with somebody that you trust and can say, hey, can I do a 3-way call with you? Order some product guides, which you can get on Shaklee.com on your website. And this is just a really good thing to have on hand. Our product guides are extraordinary. They are so informative, and there's testimonies and great pictures, and it's just a wonderful thing to have on hand. Order some business cards, and we'll talk about that next, but Vistaprint is something that I use. And then any other helpful marketing material that's just going to simplify your life while allowing you to be very personal with your customers.
And one of the things we just throw in there is don't go crazy and don't go in debt like a wild thing because you're not earning money yet.
Absolutely. There's no need to spend too much. One reason why I really, really love Vistaprint, there's always deals. If we log on to Vistaprint, on the right-hand corner, there's always something that says, put in this number for 40% off of this, or even just Googling deals. I've never purchased a Vistaprint purchase without utilizing a deal. So I really do look into that. They have a lot of awesome incentives to buy stuff and save tons of money. So yeah. Is this one me as well? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that's Harper.
Well, I'm just going to go over a few little business things. A few of these Ashley already mentioned, but we are setting up a business, and I think that it's important to remember that there are a few different pieces, little things that just help us as we're doing those administrative parts of the business. Setting up direct deposit is a really easy form that you can find on your member center. There's lots of options on the business tab at My Shaklee. Explore those, learn a little bit about what you can find there. Track your business expenses. We talked about the benefits of a home-based business. One of those is the tax deduction. So make sure that you know what things you can deduct and that you keep track of those right away. Keeping simple records so that you can take care of your business, and like we were saying, don't go crazy. You aren't earning yet, so make sure you're paying attention to what you're doing. We also have a lot of things that we can offer for training, which is so wonderful. I've heard a lot of people talk about in their careers that their training, they didn't have a lot of training, that it was a lot of work to get additional training. We are very fortunate to have a lot of training options for you. The first one is, you can just click to the next slide. On Mondays, we have a wellness webinar at 8 p.m. Central. You can log on and you'll get a reminder in your email. This is a great way to learn about different health topics, how to understand how to help people with their nutritional concerns, with their health concerns, and also that you can invite people that you know to these topics. They're also archived at Better Health in 31 Days under Wellness Webinars. And that is a subscription base. You can talk to your team leaders to see if their team has one. You can also, if your team has one, you can also subscribe to that yourself. Then these Thursday morning trainings are so very important because we can know answers to health questions, but if we don't know how to run a business, we will not have the same kind of success. There are so many skills that I know that I personally have had to learn, and this has been such a powerful place to learn those. So making sure that you're on these Thursday morning calls, those are also archived at Better Future Starts Today. And we also have Shaklee TV, which is a great resource. There's so many things that you can both learn as a new person, but also that you can share. So many testimonies and stories and pieces of information. And then coming soon, we will have a new resource in Shaklee University that Shaklee is providing. So stay tuned. We will talk about it more as that comes to fruition on these calls, but that'll be a great resource source for you eventually as well. And then utilizing Facebook, we have a group called Learning from the Masters. That's kind of a follow-up to these Thursday morning calls. You can request to join that. The Shaklee Effect is a group that Shaklee Corporate puts together that they post information that they have. That's a very helpful one to be on. Shaklee Corporation has beautiful videos and graphics. They post new graphics that they've created. That's a great place to be. And then if you have a team page, make sure you're plugging into your team page. You will find that community, resources, and different people to help you find answers. Those are great places to plug in. Make sure that you have these phone numbers saved in your phone. Shaklee Field Support, so you can ask anytime you need to ask questions, or Shaklee Product Questions. Those are two great places to have saved in case you need something. And then myshackley.com and using your member center is going to have so many resources for you. So make sure to explore that and take advantage of the things that Shackley has to offer for us. And then, as we begin our journey to director, we really want to know where to find the answers that we need for our business, for nutrition, for training. And we have, like I said before, so many great resources. Healthresource.shackley.com is a newer site that Shackley has put together that answers a lot of questions about whether it's our ingredients or certain studies and research. It's a great place to find answers to questions that you have or someone that you're talking to has. The ones I mentioned, the Better Health in 31 Days, the Better Future Starts Today, and obviously the Shackley University that's coming later this year. And then if you are on your member center at the bottom, you'll see a link that says Other Shackley Links. That gives you access to a few more websites that Shackley has put together with their clinical studies and their blog, different things like that. So these are all things that are just helpful to know about as you are trying to figure out, as you go along, the different answers you might need.
So good, Harper. And I just agree, because one of the major things we do when we work with people is we provide information and we bring them education. So being in tune with the resources that are available helps us be much more efficient. So I think that those few slides there are very valuable, because that helps people really be able to spend time doing what we do, which is bringing great stuff to people. So excellent. All right, so now it's time for the fundamentals, the things that are going to actually get your business going. So we've got some mechanics and logistics and things in place. We need to talk about you developing your why. And I want to just say this is not something that I've been in the early part of my business, I was not very good at helping people do this. And what we quickly found is if we glossed or glazed over this step and kind of didn't full-heartedly really start getting into the why, something was greatly missing, because we promise you, did you guys lose me? There we go. We promise you that as you're building this business, you're going to need a driving force. You're going to need something that propels you towards the aspects of the work, the discipline, the trial and error, the getting through the challenges, and that will be your why. So make sure for you that you are doing this. You must, I always tell people, get a beautiful little notebook or spiral and just start journaling down, what do you want Shackley to do for you and your family? What do you want to do for others through Shackley? So, you're going to get some skills of all sorts, people skills, leadership skills, but you really want to make sure you don't jump through that why step too quickly, because you will need it to propel your business. So one of our favorite quotes that we use frequently, because it's so important, people don't buy what you sell, they buy why you sell it. They don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And you can't communicate that to people if you don't know yourself. So make sure you're getting your why in place. All right,
that's
Becky.
so important, Lisa, because I think you're exactly right. That can happen to so many of us, is that we just gloss over that piece and then we kind of stall out, and it is your driving force. So I appreciate you starting us off with that. So let's look at this, our reasons and our goals for our business. And I want you to remember, Harper was just telling about some of the resources at the Shackley TV site. There are amazing Shackley Effect videos, and these are people from all different professions, all different backgrounds, all different ages that are talking about how Shackley has impacted them and how their business has made a positive impact as well. So those are really nice to be able to not only know about and encourage ourselves, but they're fabulous links to send to new people for them to kind of get just a glimpse of our culture. For them to see what other people are saying. It's not just you alone that love the company. There are, millions of people that love Shackley. So this week we want to focus on what a Shackley business will bring to our life. What problem, interest, or need will Shackley solve it for us or for other people? And what do we want to have happen? And I would say, too, one of the things I was thinking about is that I always encourage my team, when you're at any type of Shackley meeting or at the national convention, to ask other people, why do you do Shaklee? What was it that brought you to having this business or being involved with the company? And you'll be amazed and inspired by their stories. They're absolutely just from all different types of avenues and ways of how Shaklee came to be in their life, which is just really, really cool. So behind every one of the big checks, of the leaders achieving new ranks and of leaders earning new cars, first, there was a powerful reason and a powerful dream. And I love this quote too. There is a powerful driving force inside every human being that once unleashed can make any vision, dream, or desire a reality. And I heard Heather Chastain, who is the president of our company, she had a quote at this last meeting that I attended that was just so profound. And she said, "We have all the tools and support, but we are the only ones that can create the desire." And so that's our job, is to figure out our reason and why are we doing this. It's just so wonderful and so important. So what do we want? What do you want for your business, for your family, for your life? Maybe you want to live debt-free. Maybe you have the dream of being self-employed. Maybe you want a second home or a dream vacation, or maybe you want to go back to school. We just really want to think about it. If we were to wave a magic wand and create a life that we wanted, what would it want to look like? What would we want for ourselves? And I want to tell you that when I was preparing for today, I really thought about when I first started the business, I wanted my products paid for because I felt so much better. And I wanted an extra $40 to $50 a month that we could do something spontaneous as a family and not have to plan for it. And so that might mean going to a movie. That might mean going to the Milwaukee Zoo. It can start very small. And I remember one of my other goals early on was I wanted to have a professional photo of our family and have a really large print, like above our piano, something kind of iconic like that. And then to finish our basement. Now, our goals and we were able to accomplish all those things, you'll be happy to know. But our goals have changed, yes. Our goals continue to grow and change as we grow and change. And I invite you to involve your spouse and allow yourselves to dream. Make a list of what you would like to do or accomplish. And one of the first things that Greg and I, when we started dreaming a little bigger, past some of these initial dreams, is we said, you know what, we want to be able to afford to go on a really nice vacation with our kids every other year. And then there might be there'd be something else. We accomplish that, and so then we would make another dream. And it's a wonderful, wonderful way to be able to do our life, because we can control what we make and our income, and we control what we can bring in. So anyway, it's just a wonderful, wonderful way to be able to do this business and to figure out what we want.
I think that's so true, and it's so powerful what you both said, and that word driving force really sticks with me, because as we talk about what kind of goals we want, so we have our why, we have our reason, we have that driving force, and then what do we do with it? Because we can have great things that excite us, but then we have to put it into a plan. So what does that specifically look like? So if your passion is to be able to stay home with your children, or to be able to leave your current job, what income does that mean? Write that down. What income are you working towards? If you're looking to find recognition and passion and purpose, okay, well, what rank do you want to be? For me, in the beginning when I first started, the trips weren't necessarily what was my big goal. Now it is, because I've been on them and they're amazing. but it wasn't. That wasn't what my big goal was. But for some people, that is it. Like, I want to go on that trip. Whatever it is, we need to write it down. Just like we need to write down that driving force. And we talked a lot about last week, if you want more about this and about writing out goals, but we need to have specific goals, and those specific goals will come from what it is that we want. And so when we set that specific goal and how to reach that, Then we start putting together a planning session. And this is how this is still every month, every year especially, this is what I look at and do myself, because a lot of my whys have stayed the same, but like Becky said, my goals have changed. And so then what we like to do is put together a planning session. Okay, well, if I'm going to achieve that, what does that look like? How many phone calls? How many appointments? How many new members? What's my PV goal per week and per month? And when we set up this plan, then we can work towards reaching what it is that we want. And I really encourage you to stay focused on that reason, that why, that purpose, that driving force. And so if we put up a goal board, something that I love, a dream board, is putting those things up there, and never miss that why piece, that driving force, because sometimes you're not going to feel like making that many phone calls. You're not going to feel like doing those appointments or following through. But if you remember the driving force behind this business, or when someone says no to you, you have the driving force that reminds you why you're looking for the yes. And so keeping both of those goals, but also that purpose together, is going to be really powerful in reaching what it is that you want for your life. And then, thank you. And then as we move into action, the next thing we want to do is really focus. Okay, so we have our why, we have our goals. Now, how do we develop customers and business partners? And if you want 1,000 PV is a great aim for your first month. So you've set up your office, you've activated your website, you've done all of these things, and now you really want to get into action, because action, you can watch 1,000 webinars and never do anything. So we really want to get into action and do the things we need to do. And so the first thing that you want to do is it's time to make a list of people. And we want to make lists of people who we would want to share about Shaklee products and Shaklee solutions. But we really also, it's very important to make a list of people who we would like to join our business, that people that we would love to work with, people that we think may have the need, and people who have a passion for the things that we have a passion about.
Absolutely. Thank you, Harper. So when we're looking at that list, one of the things that we will talk about is looking at 10 people who we think would like to share information with the products about, and 3 people that we'd like to start with our business on a monthly basis. It's kind of that we have this like 3 in 10 do it again motto that can really build a business quickly. So you'll see the quote here: as soon as possible, create a list of about 20 names, because we need to talk to somebody if this is going to work. This is really the key of it all. You can have a really beautiful system, and you can have a good to-do list, and you can have a great website, but if you're not talking to anybody, nothing is going to be happening. So if you can get, it says right here, and 10 people we would like to have on our business team, the goal is to find 3 key leaders, and the 10 may never be one of those 3 leaders, but you have to start somewhere. You know, you got to start talking. And I always tell my team, we can't prejudge, and we have to let others make the decision for themselves. So one of the things that I'll always say to people I'm contacting, hey, I'm not sure if this will interest you, but I want you to be able to make that decision and be an educated decision at that. So now when we have the list of people, we're ready to have those coaching sessions, kind of like Harper was saying, where we really break it down into what we're going to do. So contacting your coach to do that. So one of the things that I do with my team as soon as they start a business is talk to them about what I call the product guide exercise. And basically, I believe this is a few different things into one that's beneficial for someone that's brand new. I ask them to grab a product guide. Either I give them one, or they have them ordered, which we talked about at the beginning of the webinar. And I ask them to grab a sticky note pad, and to put a sticky note on every single page. And I want them to read this product guide from cover to cover, and start making notes of who they're thinking of on each page. I actually also say to add an additional sticky note for any questions you may have, because I think of this as an opportunity to skill up in terms of the products, because as I mentioned, the product guide is exceptional, and you can learn so much simply from reading that from cover to cover. But in addition, we're human, so we're going to be thinking about people when we read the product guide, and it makes a lot of sense to take note of that. And then it makes that contact very authentic. So you'll see here in the quotes, I was reading through the Shaklee product guide and I thought of you, and you tell a little bit more. I know how important natural ingredients are to you, or I remember you mentioning joint pain or knee problems, or I know how you are particular with your children. So whatever example you're going to give. But I believe that it's so much easier to contact people when we have a reason for contacting them. We're not just saying, hey, I started Shaklee, but it's rather, I thought of this, or I heard of this, or I saw this, and it made me think of you. And so it's kind of a two-in-one opportunity to learn about the products, as well as what products make you think of who. So the planning meeting, review each of these names with your upline and your coach, because you're new at this. Even if you're not new at this, it's really great to sort of have a sounding board of what it is that you're thinking about, why you want to contact them, and what ways you want to. So then you're looking at lists of activities and events that you would be interested in doing, whether that's a Facebook event, small group meetings, conference calls, three-way calls, inviting them to regional events, individual appointments one-on-one. And then finally, something that we wanted to note, which isn't always a contact, but it is great marketing to do Facebook posts that are super authentic and very personalized. Examples would be utilizing, taking pictures of your children using the Shaklee products, or yourself drinking a shake, and really just sharing like you would about anything, like you would about a restaurant that you enjoyed or a movie that you saw that you loved. And really that starts to build your brand, because people are going to be watching you. Whether they admit it or not, they're going to be watching you, and this will build a brand and also give you reasons to contact people. So if you're getting likes or comments, that's a good reason to reach out. So one thing that's important to know, because I have a lot of people who start that they're like, I just don't know that many people. Well, you don't have to. You certainly do not have to know a lot of people. You can generate a lot of volume simply by asking friends if they have anybody that they think might be interested in the products, because everybody has a mother, a brother, a best friend, a neighbor, a coworker, and so many other people. And so you can really, it's about asking that question. And for so long, I didn't even ask that question, so I didn't get anything out of it. And then when I started to ask, my business began to explode. And you'll see here that about 70% of my business and 90% of Lisa's business is from referrals. And so really just ask that question. Make sure you ask, is there anybody you know that could benefit from the products like you have?
And I think the point we wanted to make there, Ashley, is, and you spoke it so well, is that as you grow your business and you do a really good job and you do a strong, member care and all of that, that number increases. So, I've been in the business quite a bit longer, so probably maybe the last 8 to 10 years has been 90%, but that is the reward for kind of all of these things that she's talked about. So, all right, I'm sorry, just wanted to add that in. So,
thank you.
No, that's really important. So as you're getting ready to set up and launch, whether you're restarting your business now or whether you just signed up, this is a great time to hear these things and then get ready to launch. So in that first 24 to 48 hours, make sure that personal website is set up, which the Shaklee Connect app makes that so easy. Make sure you know how to sponsor someone both on your computer and on your phone. Become your first customer. Enroll in AutoShip with your 100 PV order so that you are experiencing the products and you are experiencing the Shaklee difference, because those stories will be very powerful for you. Make sure you have the other resources, your direct deposit, all those little details we talked about earlier set up. Schedule that first coaching call. Make sure you have a coaching call set up with your upline so that you can go through these names. You can start moving forward on these ideas after you have that list. We have a first step resource guide, which you can download from myshaklee.com. And if you read pages 1 through 11, it'll go over a lot of these things and help reinforce some of the things we've talked about today. It's a great place to start. And then make sure you continue to put these sessions in your calendar on Thursday mornings. Put it in your calendar, schedule that time. And when you're having trouble with that, look at your why and remember that these are going to help me grow this business, and this is why I want to do it, and this is why I want to prioritize it. And just remember that everything is not going to go perfectly. and that's going to be okay. I love this quote. If plan A didn't work, the alphabet has 25 more letters. So always knowing that we're going to put together a plan. We're going to put, and I'm a planner. When the plan falls apart, this is something I have really had to learn. We just keep moving forward, and we keep growing, and we keep focusing on our goals and on our purpose and moving forward. And so, but this is a great place to start.
What we are today attracts where we are going tomorrow. So when we have, this is kind of the vision that I talk about with all of my team, when we have a picture of the organization that we want to create, we can really know where we're going and how we're going to get there. So I ask people in my team and all of you on the call or on the webinar today to really ask yourself, what is it that you want your business to look like? Who is it that you want to look like 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road in terms of a leader, in terms of your entire Shaklee organization? What kind of people will be on your team? What kind of customers will you have? Really asking yourself these questions, because in creating a vision, it helps us to really walk the talk, so to speak. And sometimes it's faking it till you make it, right? But the kind of person that you are, the kind of person that you act like every day, is going to be the kind of people that you attract to your business. And so it's so important to ask yourself these questions. And how do you become that person? If there are certain characteristics that you love about a leader or admire about a person, how can you adopt those? And sometimes that's personal development. So working on yourself, books, podcasts, classes, these webinars, I mean, it's such an extraordinary gift to be a part of them personally now, because watching them and listening to them for months and months before being a part of them was what created my business the way it is. So it's really a surreal thing to actually be on them now, because I wouldn't have what I have without these webinars. So find what works for you and really plug in. The key to failure in this business is isolation. So find people that get what you do, that understand what you're fighting for. This is why it's so beneficial to have a wonderful team and mentors and coaches, and plug into them as much as possible.
That's such a great overview, Ashley, of that piece, because when I was reading over that, I thought the question that came to my mind is, would I want to hang out with me? If I was, it's like we want to be the person that we want to hang out with and spend a lot of time with. And so what does that person look like, and what changes do I need to make so that I can be the person that other people want to hang out with?
Actually, another great question is, I heard this years ago in some personal development class I took. It was a real test of how you're doing, is you ask yourself, if I were my kids, would I pick me to be their mom?
Mm-hmm.
If I were my husband, would I pick me to be their spouse? If I were my business leaders, would I pick me to be their upline? And so on. I mean, it's a really great way to kind of get outside ourselves and see how we're being. I so appreciate this slide, Ashley, and thank you for bringing it to us, because this is an ongoing thing. And all of us, I remember years ago, Joe, hearing people say, a Shaklee Business is the best personal development class you'll ever take.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I think people still say that.
Because we are doing things we haven't done before. We are stepping outside our comfort zone often. Anytime you do things you haven't done before, and so it's one of the best parts of the business, actually. So thank you for this slide.
Yeah, the other rippling effect from this too, Barb, is I think the impact that it has on our children, especially if we're starting the business when our kids are so. I know with our two sons that they are very goal-oriented. They understand about if there's something they want, they've got to have a plan, a methodology for getting there. They wouldn't have learned that in school. So, I really credit Shaklee with having an impact on our children also.
You bet.
In that respect of personal development.
It's very good. And I was just thinking, I had a great conversation with Kristen Jakubowski yesterday, because I remember so many of you begin Shaklee businesses when your children are little and you want to be home with them, but still contributing to the family income. And I remember when that happens, it is quite normal that when you are doing your Shaklee business, you start feeling guilty that you're not with your children. And when you're with your children, you start You're
Yes.
not doing your
Yes.
Shaklee. And what Kristen and Harper, I've heard you share this too, is what happens as you get into the Shaklee business and you start developing some skills, is you find that you really want to work it. You want to be doing and working your Shaklee business, and so then it's like, oh, but wait a minute, what about time with my kids? And what I was telling Kristen, now that Joe and I have big grown up galoots, is we can tell you looking back that the Shaklee business was a really wonderful experience for our children to observe their parents working a Shaklee business from home because of the importance to be with them. But it's okay to not be with our children every single minute of every day. It was great for them to see. Sometimes we would set up things for them to be doing, activities for them to do, and saying that Mom's going to be working here for a bit, you're going to work here for a bit, and it teaches them some independence. It teaches them to a work ethic. It's all good. So it changes as they grow, and every year your kids are in a different place, and so integrate. I love, and that was something that Maria Shriver talked about a couple of years ago at the Global Conference, where she said the beauty of our business is that it's not a balancing act of trying to balance work and family, and it's an integrated business. So we integrate our business into our life, and we find a way to make it all work.
Well, I was just going to say that what I've heard is not to use the word balance as so much as blend. That blend is a better word. And I have found what you are saying in the midst of it to be so true. And also that our why drives that mindset change of that blend. Because if we think, my goal is, like, what I really want is to be able to give more flexibility to our family. So whether you're at home but you want your husband to be able to spend more time with your children, whether you want to be at home, whether you want to have be able to afford a trip for your whole family, that you have these things that you would like. And so when you think about that perspective, it can help balance your time. Like if I have someone on my team who her husband travels a lot for work, and they want to build a business that can fund him building his own business and what he does so he can stay home. And we talk about how if, her kids are doing this other activity so she can get some work done, that the long-term picture of that makes it so much easier to say, yeah, you guys, you do this. We're all working together so that Daddy doesn't have to travel so much. And thinking about it in that perspective. But what you said too, especially about becoming someone else, that is a huge piece of the Shaklee business for me. And that is that I have become someone I did not know I was capable of. And that has made me a better wife. It has made me a better mom. It has made me a better friend because of that personal growth that I have had in my Shaklee business has affected so many things outside of my Shaklee business. And so I think that that point that you made is so, so very true.
So with that, we leap into the action steps.
All right. And we want to be sure that you have these Thursday morning trainings on your calendar, or have a time set up to review the archive. We've talked about setting up your office, having an actual space that you can. And I remember when I first started, mine was a card table. So it can be whatever you need it to be. It probably started as a kitchen table, and then
I was going to say a kitchen table.
I needed more of my own little space. But just find a space in your home that can work, so that you can have a few things out and available to you. Begin to identify what the Shaklee business can mean for your life and who you want to invite as customers and business partners. And it's kind of a new idea for a lot of people that you are your own boss. You run the show. Mm-hmm. You tell yourself what you're going to do that day by your list. It's a wonderful way to live, but it is different sometimes if you're coming in from a traditional work environment. So give yourself some grace if it takes you a little bit to figure that piece out, but try to get there as quick as you can because it's really fun to be your own boss. So then be able to just keep those goals in front of you. We talked about the goal boards and the pictures that Harper talked about. Those are really important to remember your why and then also your goals. The working binder, we went over that a little bit, so create that and then be sure and put that business leader guide in your working folder so you can quickly refer to something when you're talking about your goals or your vision. And then you want to also, it's nice to be able to utilize Facebook as marketing, like Ashley said, that you want to add a picture of your business kit and tag your upline and kind of show your excitement with it. Just really experiment with the products. Use them yourself. Review their benefits. You're going to find I can't think of a specific one right now, but there's lots of times that there's a product that is meant for a certain thing. But actually, I love that our products have side benefits, and so you might be able to share, well, it does help with digestion, but it also helps with your immune system. And so things like that, that's just really helpful. And it's great if you can, the more you use the products, the more personal testimony you can have as well. And then use the product guide like Ashley talked about. Take notes on what you want to take for your family, but then also what you could promote to other people. And I love the sticky note idea, Ashley. That is brilliant.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I think it's absolutely, yes, absolutely so great. I'm totally going to do that myself and for my team. And we just want to say that we are off to a great start. Look at that cute little guy just zooming up in his face. He's adorable.
By the way, I tried to make that the title slide, and I was vetoed on that.
He is cute.
And right here, right?
That's right.
But the next one is good, too. Show them that one.
Yes.
This came from Francine.
Yes, I love this. There will
Yes.
be doors, and we will find keys to open them. And so when life shuts a door, open it again. It's a door. That's how they work. And so,
I love it. It's a door. That's how
Yes.
they work. Gosh.
we are thrilled that you could join us this week for our first installation, and we'll have our next installation soon.
Do our questions. Go ahead, Joe. You've been tracking them?
Oh, well, a couple people said I thought the webinar started at 9 a.m. Central Time, and it does, but we have pre-call announcements and discussions, and we share little tips and pointers starting at about, 1:45, so if you come in at 9 and you hear us covering things, that's because our pre-call is earlier.
And while we're on that subject, because these are archived, there has been a conversation about Chris has been including the pre-call conversation in all of the archives, but we were thinking for the purpose of training now that we should separate that. So he is now that people said they really find that helpful, some of those ideas that we share. So he's now going to put them at the end of those training archives. So you can tell your people if they don't want to listen to it, they'll get all the training done right in that segment, but then he'll add it as an addendum on the end. Thank you, Chris, for that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what
lots of questions here on this on the trip requirement. What if we are just beginning a director in January?
So for the PGV Plus purposes, if you want the 15 points in January, your goal would be 2001. If you're brand spanking new or if you're not a director yet, that goal is universal then for everyone in those categories. So 2001 is the target to hit the 15 points for this month. So hopefully that makes sense.
Right. So if you're a new director, obviously you don't have a base, so your base is 2000. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you became a new director in January, February, or March and wanted those kicker points, you would need the 2001, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so hustle.
Barbara, anything's possible if we have a plan.
They also asked where you can find, so Pam was telling you, when you go into myshackley.com, the member center, just click on everything that says tracker. It'll get you over to the, and then what they refer to the word dream when they talk about trips. So that will also help you. Then there's another section in there called reports. And what's different about the qualifications now, it's not just your personal group volume, what you personally buy and what you sell to your customers. That's your personal group volume. But it's now also the personal group volume of all your first levels. So you want to know what that number is, right? So you go to reports. Go to myshaklee.com, go to reports, and you will find your first level leaders in there. For many of you will not have millions of them, so it won't be hard to find them. Or you could pick up the phone and call them if you can't find it in there. But you want to know what is that number so that you're at least one PV point above it. Hope that makes sense. Okay.
I just have to jump in and say this because I've been thinking this for the last 50 minutes. We have had over 400 attendees today.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that's amazing. So there's
one time we were up to 421.
Fantastic. Well, I think we jumped by 100 in 1 week, so amazing.
I don't know how you all are finding out about it, but you're certainly welcome. And by the way, thank you for your comments and your suggestions. We really try to take those into account when it's helpful to have the feedback of what's helpful for you. And with that, guys, I think it's a wrap. Or are there any other questions?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot more questions here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let's do one more on this tracker thing, because somebody wanted to know, how do we calculate the PGV plus points ourselves so we know that we have reached them? Well, that's already done for you. Pam went through that. It's, if you go to the Member Center under My Business, under Tracker Incentives, and just keep following the tracker thing down, the company already did that. But you add up your personal volume from last year plus the volume of all your first level directors, and then divide by 12, and that's the goal you need.
But they spell it out for you. So just go into the trackers, and they'll give you both your monthly average and your year.
Okay, people want to know where to find the slides.
Okay. Tell them.
Somebody tell them.
Okay. You will find these at, there's two places. If you have a Better Future Starts Today subscription, or someone in your team does, you can go there and access this archive and pull it up that way. Or you can still find them at bobfiles. Is it org, net, or com?
Net.
Thank you. One of those, .net, and they are archived there as well.
The advantage of BetterFutureStartsToday.com is that that's a sister website to Better Health in 31 Days.com, where all of the wellness webinars are archived, and we have to have them password protected. But the wonderful thing is that Chris and Michelle Spell are the webmasters for that, and they set up personalized websites for you with your picture and your story. And many people really have a wonderful strategy of sending their customers there for what they call learn and earn incentive programs, so people can listen to archives of other earlier webinars, and then they'll get free products, free shipping, whatever it is you want to set up. So thank you for doing that, Chris. And you can go together on it if you want. You can groups can get those websites, but the advantage of using the Better Future Starts Today is you get podcasts there. And that's very helpful for people, especially who work.
And it's so reasonably priced. It is, I think, by far the best value for anything I invest into my business. So I would just, I think it's fantastic. So there's a quick question here. Oh, I'm sorry, about Shaklee University. I've heard to anticipate the new Shaklee U mid-February, the first rollout of it. So go ahead, Barb.
And questions about, people say they went to Learning for the Masters and can't find the business guide. Mm-hmm. What's the right title for that?
Hey, Ash, what is that?
Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find it for sure.
I found it there the other day.
Yeah,
is it under we should put it under the files, right?
I don't think you can, because it's such a large document. So it's attached as a Dropbox. So when you are on the Facebook page, you can search the group, and you can just search Ashley McDonald. And you can see it's like the fourth one down. It's something that I posted on November 1st, and it says, here's the new business leader guide as a Dropbox file.
Hey,
Yeah.
Ashley, could you repost that and just in all caps put business guide at the top of the post, and then anyone can go in and search business guide and that will pop up immediately? Does that make sense? Just reshare that post with the caps business guide in there. I think that would be easy,
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Okay, so it takes you to a Dropbox. Okay,
Yeah, it's
good.
just too big of a file, unfortunately.
Okay, that's cool. All right, anything else, Joe dear?
Well, there's always, I think we've covered basically every, lot of kudos. People are pleased.
I heard someone say this is the best training ever. I got a text 10 minutes into the webinar from a builder saying, oh my gosh, this is already an awesome webinar. A few brilliant comments out there regarding the product guide exercise. So again, kudos.
Very good. So I will tell you guys the biggest reward for us is the reason we do this is for what it will mean for the company. So can you imagine if together we can, the 400 of us, can develop new directors in this next 100 days to amazing in the next 8 weeks? That would be a tremendous thing for our company and for our mission, which is really to share with people, products and ideas and ways that they can practice prevention and wellness. And Becky, you were talking about the tangible and intangible benefits of our business. By the way, you did a great job on that. Is when you are in a business that's always talking about wellness and prevention, about diet and health, we get reinforced. It's so easy to fall off the wagon. And every day in our businesses, we get reinforced to be healthier. And that's no small thing. And not only do we personally benefit from it, but our families do too. So can we say thank you now, Joe?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay, boy.
Thank you. Next week, our topic is
oh gosh, it's good too.
Communication skills, and that's really good. And then the following one, we are going to do, they're calling it Foundations for Health, and we're going to review a couple of different systems of the body, like the immune system, the digestive system, and understand product collections and the kinds of health issues that are an indication of strengthening our immune system for this one, or healing the gut for that one, and just to give our new leaders a little guideline on how to set up those initial nutrition programs for people.
Great, perfect.
So that's coming up. All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Great week.
Bye.
Will someone take us through our Great Monday Wellness webinars? Barbie, you want to talk about some of those?
Yeah, we've had some pretty good ones, and we got some great ones coming up. So looking to February. So what's great about Monday Wellness webinars is they're archived, and we're working on getting them shorter. Always a challenge for us because there's lots to say. But this month coming up in February, we'll start with Gary Burke, who now will be showing up every other month on the first Monday, and then we will be alternating that with a woman or a couple sharing their Shaklee story. And then the other one I just want to draw your attention to is on the last Monday for a couple of months now, we're going to do a walk through the product guide. That would be an excellent webinar to put an incentive around for your customers to attend. So just want to draw your attention to that.
Great. And I am unmuting Carol real quick, or I am attempting to. It won't let me unmute. Okay, for some reason.
That happens sometimes.
All right. Well, let's jump ahead a slide and have Pam give us her tips, and then we'll go back. I'm excited to hear this, Pam. Go ahead. Share away.
Good morning, everybody. Okay. We want to talk just today about PGV Plus, because Shaklee has given us an incentive for earning some extra higher level points, what we are calling kicker points, in January, February, and March of this year to get us started on earning that trip to Paradisus in Mexico. So I want to just make sure that everybody's clear on what is PGV Plus. And PGV Plus is your personal group volume for you and all of your first level business leaders combined. And Shaklee gave you a number, and I'll tell you where to find it in a minute, but it is the average of your PGV from January to December of 2015, those 12 months average number for you and all of your first levels added up, average. That gives you your PGV Plus base. And if you generate just one PV point higher than what your base average is, then you get 15 points for the month of January. So it's important to know that it's your efforts and the efforts of your first levels. So I like opportunity because it's putting me in touch with my first level leaders right away in January. And I think that's really important that we're working together.
So the reason that we wanted Pam to share this on this as we're starting this new year, this is all new stuff for us. Personal group volume. That's what you purchase from Shaklee, what your customers purchase from Shaklee. That's your personal group volume. And then the company has added all of that same personal group volume for all your first generation leaders. So this is new for us to track that. So it's a little trickier. But it's what I'm seeing is a really great thing. Is that, what did they tell us, Joe, that something like 70% of our field are directors and senior directors. And so this year, the trips are really oriented to those folks. The company wants to see everybody who's never been on a trip before get to coordinator and be able to qualify. And so that's really what's behind this. So we're about to launch this starting today, our 8 weeks to director training class. And this is going to be archived separately. It'll be a standalone. So this is as you find your business partners, this is where you can send them to give them a step-by-step training to get them to director. And that's what's behind this. Then we'll take it. That takes us right up to spring break. And then after spring break, we will come back, and then we're going to do a section on Journey to Executive Coordinator, and we'll start walking through how you become a senior director and then a coordinator and so on, and because now we'll start picking up, there's coaching skills to work on. So we're going to give you what you need. We want to help everybody who is on the calls with us make those trips this year. Thanks, Pam, for explaining that. Pam, by the way,
I want to take a minute, though, because people don't know where to find them. I think I want to make sure they
go ahead.
In the back office with My Shaklee. So you want to go to myshaklee.com and click on My Business tab. And under there, you'll click on the Trackers and Incentives tab, which will take you to the trackers. Under the Dream Tracker, click on that, and you'll see 3 categories under the tracker. There's sponsoring, there's rank advancement, and there's PGV Plus growth. Under that third category of PGV Plus growth, there's a little spot underneath there that you can click on View Full Tracker. So go ahead and click on that, and it'll show you your numbers from Shaklee Corporate Office, what your PGV Plus base is for the year, and what your monthly average PGV Plus base is for I was just talking about, the monthly average. That's the number that you need to exceed by 1 point or more to get the 15 additional points. And it's explained in there a little bit below your number. There's a little explanation. But I want everybody to know where to find that number so you have a target out there so that you can get those 15 points. If you get your PGV Plus kicker points in January, February, and March, you have 45 points total, and you're almost 25% qualified for one person to go to Mexico. So it's a great opportunity to get these points going right away, get in touch with your first level leaders, and work together so you can travel together and get your people on your trip with you.
Awesome.
Pretty exciting.
Perfect. All right. I see Carol in. So, Carol, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, hi, Carol.
Hi. Yeah.
Good morning, good morning. I'm sorry, it took me a minute longer to make my smoothie, and then I was trying to dial in as fast as I could.
Believe me, we understand. Yeah.
Welcome to the little pre-call stress.
That's right. So let's properly introduce Carol Cash, because she's the genius behind setting up a Facebook page, which gives everybody a go-to place for information around our Thursday morning training. So thank you for that, Carol.
Oh, thank you. And I did it to help myself grow because I loved your training. And I know I've shared this story with Joe, but I'll just share it very quickly. A couple of years ago in December, I had not made director yet, and I was really struggling and super depressed. And one day I just went on Bob's Files, and I don't even remember why I did, but I found the training with you guys. And I listened to some of the archives, and then I was already friends with Barbara on Facebook, so I messaged her and said, could I come into these trainings? And then this training, I really credit with keeping me going all these years, and so thank you for all you guys do. So, and I wanted to have a place where we could come together and share ideas to enhance the training. So you don't just show up on Thursday morning and then forget about it for the rest of the week, which I have a tendency to do because life happens. My dad was in the emergency room this week, so my whole week just from Saturday night on just kind of disappeared. And I wanted a place where I could come and we could share ideas and we could share the training. And then, for example, back in October, I think, Lisa shared her, she needed some PV at the end of a month one time years ago, and she shared a little idea of how she generated some PV and had an end of the month sale. So I just took that in and flew with it. So that's what I want this group to be, is really a place where we can share business ideas that we get out of the training and share it with our teams, share it with each other, have success circle coaching. And what I did want to say was this isn't really, the Learning from the Masters group is really not a place to share, I have a customer who has this and what products would you recommend. That's what Sharing Shackley was created for. So we've got some things showing up like that, and I just wanted to remind people it'd be much better to talk either to your upline or to the folks in Sharing Shackley for those kinds of questions. But anything that's related to home parties, getting people to the Monday Night Wellness webinars, invitations, 8 weeks to director, that's really what this group was created for, and those are the ideas I'd love for us to be sharing.
I love it.
Carol, this is Joe Coogan. I have a quick question. People can also go to Learning from the Masters to get the registration links for Thursday and Monday, right?
Absolutely. Between you, me, Barbara, and Hannah, we're all really trying to make sure that we have, the topic for the Monday Night Wellness webinar and the link that you can send to your, members or your guests so that they can register and join us. And I also try to post every week. Joe, thank you for sending out all your emails, because I always try to post those in Learning from the Masters. So if people are not on your distribution list, they get them there too.
Right.
And one more thing that I did want to request, I could really use some help. A lot of people are asking to join Learning from the Masters, and their profiles are very tight. When I go look at their profile, I can't tell if they're in Shackley or not. Anyone can approve a member for Learning from the Masters. All you have to do is look on the right, and you can scroll through the list of people that have asked to become members. And if you know that they are building a Shackley business and they really want this training, you're welcome to approve them. And then what I do, if I can't tell, I see if I have any mutual friends, and I send, people emails. And I've gotten a couple emails back from people saying, that person's really not building a business. Let's not let them in the group just yet. So I appreciate your help on that.
Well, thank you, because who would have thought of that? Oh, gosh, I love geniuses. All right. Thank you for
Thank you. Thank
your
you so
help,
much,
and
you guys.
I'm
Yes,
so
Carol.
glad to hear how well your group is growing. That's really exciting. Okay, so we are about to embark on our 8 weeks to director training, and Lisa found these great quotes just to get us in the right mindset. This is the start of something beautiful. And the next one, Beck, is, and suddenly you just know it's time to start something new and trust the magic of beginnings. So with that, Lisa, we're going to start, and I guess we need to count to 1, 2, 3 now, right?